Nice to see everyone. Thank you all for joining our digital upskilling session. It's a couple minutes past 11, but I think we could start now. So I will start and I will introduce myself to you and tell you a little bit about us. So my name is Agi. I work for Devon Communities Together. And I work for a project called Devon Highlights. It's a project where we work with all the people across Devon, and we use Zoom and one-to-one session to connect. The project has been going for 2 years now, and before the COVID-19 health crisis, we've had actually physical groups meetings across Devon, but we had to change our delivery. And we actually adapted into the situation pretty well, I have to say. So since April last year, we've been doing Zoom meetups, and we do a one-to-one weekly befriending phone call service. I work with Harry and with Shona. And before I ask everyone to introduce yourself as well, I would like to ask everybody if you are okay for us to record the session just for the purpose of the training, and we can also share it with you later on so you can practice the thing. So if you are okay with the recording, you can please stay with the video, but if you feel like you rather not to be seen on the recording session, you can actually stop video and we can only hear you. I hope that's okay with you. And I also would like to ask you to close all the browsers, all the emails you've got maybe open in your browser or social media, because they actually refreshing every half an hour or so. So it may cause some connection issue between us and you. So, as I said, I'm Agi from Devon Communities Together, and I would like everyone to introduce as well. Can you please tell us your name and which organization are you from? So, Agi from Devon Communities Together, and I will nominate Harry. Harry, next.
Hi there, I'm Harry. I also work with Devon Communities Together. We're just going to keep it quick, so I'm just going to pass it over to Shona, and then Shona, if you can just name the next person after that, that would be great.
Yeah, so my name's Shona. I also work at Devon Communities Together. Next person, I nominate Sarah Toohill.
Toohill. Oh, that's me. Hello, I'm Sarah Toohill. I'm a carer support officer with Devon Carers. I can't see anybody else to nominate, I'm afraid. I've only got 4 people
don't worry.
on the screen.
So I will nominate person after person, okay? That's fine. So thank you, Sarah. So can we nominate Jane Hansford, please?
Hello, I'm Jane Hansford. I live down in the South Hams, and I'm connected to the Newton and Noss Carer Support Group, also a carer ambassador.
Thank you, Jane. Julia Chappell, please.
Hi, I'm Julia. I live in Exmouth and I belong to the Salvation Army, and that's when we contacted Highlights.
Thank you, Julia. So next, I will nominate Simon Begro, please.
Yes, good morning, everybody. I feel like a bit of an interloper because I'm dialing in from Hertfordshire, but one of my colleagues found out about what the wonderful work that you do. We run a village-wide Zoom service at the moment, so we just wanted to listen to the experts and see what we can learn from you and share any ideas we have. So thanks very much for letting me join.
Lovely. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeanette, please.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Osmond. I work for Volunteering in Health. I'm a wellbeing coordinator and the team lead for all the staff that are out doing client-to-client contact at the moment over Zoom. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Ro, I've got next to Jeanette, Jane Hansford.
Done me.
Okay, sorry. Margaret Butler. Mark Butler, please.
Hello, I'm Mark Butler from Exmouth. I also belong to the Salvation Army, and I joined Highlights back in April, which the Zoom meetings we have 3 or 4 times a week, which is good. Thank you. And I'm agreeable for it to be recorded.
Lovely, thank you. Moira Lightlaugh, please. Hello, Moira. Can you hear us?
I don't think we've got any audio connected there.
Okay. Let's move to Sarah Tuhill. Maybe Moira will be able to introduce later on.
It's all right. You've had me already. Okay.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
Carly, I've got Carly Wyman. I've got people who's actually changing in a participants list. So I'm not sure who I've spoken already, who I haven't yet.
That's okay. You haven't had me yet, so I'll go.
Thank you.
I'm Carly Wyman. I work for Independent Age, and I am the Wellbeing Project Officer for Devon.
Thank you. I've got Sasha Turki as well. I haven't spoken to you, Sasha, yet, I think. Hi, Sasha.
Hi, hello. I work for Southam CVS. I'm a Community Engagement Coordinator. I do run a coffee group on Zoom with one of my colleagues, but also support other groups that are trying to set stuff up. Thank you.
Thank you. We have spoken over the phone and emails, but not right now, not today yet. And Teresa, we've got Teresa. Hello, Teresa.
Morning. My name's Teresa Patey and I work from Volunteering in Health. I'm a wellbeing coordinator and I also facilitate the Hope course.
Lovely. Thank you, Teresa. Nice to see you.
And you.
I hope I haven't spoken to Jeanette yet. Have I or haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Jenny Devon, I think I have as well.
No, you haven't spoken to me.
No, okay. Thank you. So,
I'm Jenny Bevan. I'm work for the CVS, and my colleague is Sasha, and I also run a weekly session on Zoom, but would like to try and do more. And I have referred I'm a social prescriber, and I've referred quite a few people to your wonderful organisation.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you so much. I've got Ruth Melbourne from Vocal Advocacy. Yeah.
Hi there. Sorry, my sound's going a bit funny. My name's Ruth Melbourne. I work for Vocal Advocacy. We do advocacy work for adults with a learning disability. And until the pandemic, I was running monthly groups, face to face. But since April of last year, we've been running weekly Zoom meetings, and I'm getting on okay, but I'd just like to know if there's a few more things I could be doing to mix it up a bit, add a bit more interest to the meetings.
Thank you so much. I think I haven't spoken to Olive Hikmot yet. Obviously we have spoken on the phone this morning, but not on a Zoom yet.
Hello, Aggie. I'm Olive Hikmot. I'm the other half of Active in Redbourne from Hertfordshire, and we've been doing all sorts of stuff on social media and Zoom. And we are just looking for more tips of what else we can do, basically.
Lovely, thank you so much. Is there anyone else I haven't spoken yet? Please reveal yourself and introduce yourself.
Jacqueline Wayne, I believe. Jacqueline, yeah, unmute yourself. Yeah, perfect.
That's right. I'm a volunteer with Compassionate Friends in Plymouth. I'm not doing any Zoom work at the moment, although I've got basic understanding of operations, but it's something that I can see developing.
Lovely.
Okay, lovely, thank you.
It's great to see Jeanette popping up in the chat there. Feel free to use the chat as much as you like and chip in, and we'll try and keep an eye on questions, but we are going to ask if you could just mute yourselves for now while we just get started, although there will be a chance to chip in again very soon. But yeah, please use the chat. So if I move to the next slide, Aggie, is that fair?
Yes, so this slide shows a little bit about our experience with Devon Highlights. I've already told you a little bit about this project. We've been working on it 2 years, and before the pandemic, we ran physical groups, 6 different groups across Devon. Since April, we've moved to Zoom meetups, coffee Zoom meetups, and this is just a list of things we've been doing on our Zoom. So we've had chair exercises, we've had Tai Chi, flamenco dance, we've had laughter yoga, bingo, so many different things. Basically, these topics, these activities are based on what people were telling us, what they would like to have on our Zoom meetups. We started with 2 meetings a week, and now we run also exercises on Friday, every Friday, 11 o'clock, when we exercise with Joey Weeks and other participants. We invite people to exercise with us, and it goes really well. We also have creative writing sessions on Wednesdays. And we also run regular meetings with our volunteers who do one-to-one befriending phone calls. We always try to make sure that every participant feels very welcome, feels included and comfortable on our Zoom meetings. So this session, this training is based on our experience, and we will try to tell you as much as possible what is a good practice in our eyes, what's the what you can use to make sure that your meetings run smoothly, and what sort of tips you can use to make sure that the meeting is engaging. You've got lots of people into your meeting, but also you use different technical tactics. But before we do that, I also would like to ask you to do the poll, so we know how comfortable are you with your Zoom. Is that okay? So I just launched the poll, and you will see it on your screen. And can you please click on the most appropriate button, how you feel about it.
Have you launched that, Aggie?
We have, I think, because I can see people
Yeah,
already.
yeah, I've done it.
Oh, okay. It's because I'm host, I can't see it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Has everyone used the pool yet? Then we can move on to another.
Does it show can you show the results there, Aggie?
Yes, I can see the results. 14% of people feel very confident, and just want to hear some extra tips. 36% of people feel confident. 36% of people feel not confident, and 14% of people feel terrified about using Zoom. Don't you worry. In between all of us, we will be able to help you as well. So I'm ending the poll, and over to you, Harry, now.
Thank you. So if you can unmute yourselves quickly, this is just a very simple sort of warm-up thing, and we can just get people to shout in, but maybe you've seen this before. It's like a nice little icebreaker thing, and you can get various varieties of this, but if people want to shout out any of the chocolate bars they recognize, should we start with number 1 and see whether people know what that is, do you think?
Bounty.
Bounty, smashed it. And the second one? What do you think?
Mars.
Love it, yeah. Third one?
Lion bar?
It's a lion bar, yeah. I think I saw Sasha with that one. Well done. Number 4?
Milky Way.
Milky Way, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Number 5, I think, is hard.
Double decker.
Double decker, well done.
I know too much about chocolate.
Number 6.
Marathon.
No.
Snicker.
It's a topic. It's a topic. Yeah.
Ah, topic.
Well done. I've never had that one. So, and number 7, I don't know if it still exists. It's a Star Bar. I don't know if it, number 8.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat Chunky. Yeah. Number 9.
Aero.
Aero Mint.
Mint Aero, yeah.
Mint Aero. Yeah, cool. And number 10 there.
Snickers.
It's American actually. It's it's an American bar, so I don't know if people
Is
get
it a Hershey bar?
No, it's a Reese's nut bar.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But there we go. We're going to keep flying through, but you can see just a really simple, easy, fun activity to get us warmed up a little bit. And next, Ruth, sorry, not Ruth, Shona's just shared in our in the chat Zoom guide to be downloaded, which she'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. You can download that by clicking on it if you like, and that's to get people just onto Zoom in the first place. Which this is our outline for the day. Basically, we're going to talk about technical skills in the first half, you know, how to set up a meeting and how to run things in a meeting. And then we're going to have a break, short break, and then we're going to basically apply what we've learned before the break, some of the technical skills into sort of running a meeting and making them interesting, making them engaging, for example, using chocolate or other activities that we've been running. There will be points, you know, for discussion and questions throughout, but I will say, try to, as a disclaimer, this is the first time Aggie, I and Shona have run this session, and we are not technical experts. It's just things that we've picked up from doing this training we wanted to share, doing these sessions, sorry, that we wanted to share. So it's a value, but there might be a few bits and pieces that we don't have technical answers to. And it's quite packed, so we will probably be flying through a little bit. So please write questions in the chat if they come up partway through, and we'll try and get to them. Otherwise, there will be points of discussion sort of. So just over to Shona.
Yeah, so we've produced a guide to downloading and using Zoom for the first time. It's geared towards older people with very little digital knowledge. So using Zoom for the first time can be really daunting. But if you're able to be there during that first step, it can really boost people's confidence. So our guide covers the basics. So it's what's needed to get on Zoom for the first time, to be able to join meetings. It's not overwhelming or complicated. I've attached a copy of the guide in the meeting chat, and we'll also send out a copy of it in an email afterwards. So you can share that with whoever you think might benefit from it.
Right.
So
thank you.
Yeah, so this training is actually how you can use Zoom. So you can see here, this is a screenshot from the Zoom website. So you need to think about what Zoom account you need to be setting up meetings. So there's loads of information on the Zoom website, but I'll just run through really quickly for you. So the basic account is free and you have unlimited one-to-one calls. You can have up to 100 participants in a meeting, but the meeting is limited to 40 minutes. And it doesn't support phone call-ins either. You can record the meeting and then you can save them locally. So the other option is a pro account. So with this type of account, you're not limited to the length of time of your meetings. It has unlimited one-to-one calls, and like I say, you've got no limit on the time for group meetings. You can have multiple people in one account, so it's not just for individual use. You can record the meetings and save them locally, or you also have 1 GB of cloud storage, and you can stream the meetings directly onto social media. You also have a lot more ability to produce reports and transcripts of the meetings. So there's even more advanced accounts than that, and there's different add-ons you can have, which I won't go into detail now because there's a lot that you can do there, but there's a lot more information on the Zoom website.
Thanks, Shona. So just to say, for setting up a meeting, so as Shona said, this training's for you to host meetings. So I can show you here, this is from within your professional account. Once you've created an account, you go in there and you press this plus button here, and it will give you an option to create a meeting. These are the previous meetings that we've created. And then once you press the plus, you get this screen. It's quite straightforward, but you can obviously give it a heading. You choose the time, the duration, and that's all fairly straightforward. And then it gives you a option for a passcode or a waiting room. We tend to use a waiting room just because it's easier to manage, but you can create a passcode as well. And then you create it, and that gives you the details which you can share with participants or people that you want to come to your meeting. So you all would have got a meeting ID or a link to join us today, but this is how you create that. Importantly, it's a little bit fiddly, but if you want to create a recurring meeting, you have to do that outside of the app, outside of the software that you've downloaded, and go to the website. Same thing, you go to zoom.us and you log in, and again you can do the same thing. You can create meetings here, so you can click schedule meeting over here, and do the same thing, bringing it all up through the website. But the one aspect that is different that allows you to do on the website is you can see here the recurring meeting element. So you can go click recurring, and you can, nominate how often that is, which is just a little bit fiddly. Obviously, you have to do that through the website, not the main. And then similarly, it gives you these other options, little tweaks, so you can set yourself up so that all participants automatically come on with their video on. But obviously, we didn't set that up today because you don't know where people are and you want to give them the choice to come on with that, but that is an option. Get them to come on with their video on. You can allow participants to join anytime, or if you want to just have it so that people can only start within, 5 minutes of starting, you can agree to that. You can assign breakout rooms, which we'll talk about a little more later on, and these other options which are through the website there. And just importantly, to create a poll, sorry, this is a bit squeezed, this picture. I took it not very well, apparently. But again, at the bottom of the page, after setting up, you've got here the waiting room and setting up all this information about your video and what you want there. At the bottom here, it says you can create a poll, and you just press add, and this would come up, and you can enter a poll and you can type some questions here. So again, that has to be set up before the meeting, and like the questions we asked you before, and then you can launch that in the meeting. So just moving on quite quickly, pass you back to Shona. As I say, we'll have time for questions and stuff a bit later. So.
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone's heard of some examples of Zoom gone wrong recently, and people can get into quite embarrassing situations. So you can set up the most technically sound meeting, but the simplest mistake can catch you out. So it's really important to think about what's behind you. So on the next screen, we have some things that we need to think about. So firstly, lighting. So how the lighting can really affect how you are seen on the screen. So if you've got a lot of light behind you, you can be a silhouette and your facial features won't be picked up. You can go into your settings and get your camera to adjust the low light if that's an issue that you've got in the room you're using. Another thing to think about is the height of your camera. So I like to prop my laptop up on books. It's just a good height to work at, but also the angle that I've got it at, you can't see the floor of my room, which I really like because I often have a dog sleeping there, or I can hide all sort of mess. And nobody needs to see that on a formal meeting. Another thing to think about is also a virtual background. So they're often thought of as being a bit silly or a bit of a joke, but you can actually use them to look really professional. So I think using a blurred background, it just adds a bit of privacy, but it doesn't look sort of gimmicky like you're on a beach or something. So on the next slide, we'll see how you can actually set this up. So it's also worth noting that what device you're using does really affect what options you've got for your background. So in the first screenshot, we can see the button for starting and stopping your video. So in that button, there is an arrow. So if you click on that arrow, you have the option to go into your video settings. This is where it does start to differ. So some people can just see video settings, other people can go directly into the filters and the backgrounds. But when you click on your video settings, you'll then go into the next screenshot, which is on the right. So you can see this person here, they've got a few different virtual backgrounds. Me personally, when I go into this, I have some filters. So I have the option to blur, and then I actually don't have any virtual backgrounds there, but you can see there's a plus button. Yeah, that's the plus button there. So if you click on that, you can then add any picture that you have saved on your computer. So you can just upload a photo which you've taken yourself, or you can get something off Google and you can add it there and use it as a virtual background. So something which I think looks really professional is you can open PowerPoint and you can put a box, put it in a nice color, and then you can copy and paste your company's logo. And then you just have to save that. So you click Save As, and then when you save it, you choose to save the file as a JPEG or a PNG file, and that will make it an image. So then you can just go in here, add the plus, press the plus button and add that picture and use that as your background. So then you've got a really professional looking background with your company logo. So thank you.
Thanks, Shona.
So now we move to technical skills when you are in a meeting. So you're now waiting for people to appear into your meeting. You know, you invited many people, they registered, like with us, for example, and the meeting starts 11 o'clock. So you can actually see how many people's coming to your meeting. You don't have to, we actually use the waiting rooms for the security reason, and also it's in my opinion it's a really good habit to make sure that you can actually bring people to the meeting at once, or depending on the type of the meeting. If you have like a one-to-one meeting with participants and you book them for 10-minute slots, then the waiting room, it's a really good idea for the next person to wait, not interrupt. Maybe there is like a confidential meeting you have with participants, so it's a good point. It's a good way. So you would like to start the meeting, so you move your mouse to the participants button, and you can see all waiting participants in a meeting room, and you can admit one after another, or you can admit all of them. You also have an option to chat to those people while they're waiting in a room, and then you can tell them, like, hi guys, just give me 1 minute. I'm still setting up my background and I will be with you in a second. Or you can just tell them, my meeting is finishing in 1 minute. Please be patient. Sorry to keep you waiting. So that's what you can do. I think that's all with this slide. And then also, once people are admitted, you can ask people to change their names, or to mute themselves, or to start or stop video so you can see them, or you don't have to. It's also important, this bit is also important with regards to GDPR, because I know that some people may have some issues with regards to their names appearing, or phone numbers appearing on the screen. So it's also important for you to know how to change people's names, or how to change your name. So you just hover the mouse over the participants screen, or you can go to the participant list, where you can click to next on the participant name, and you can mute this person and mute this person, or change the name, or ask to start video or stop video. There is also a small button which is pin. You can actually pin somewhere to be first on a screen. So when people talking, they will always be first on the screen who's talking. And there is another option for spotlight. When you click on a spotlight, it means that this person it keeps this person first for all participants. So you can use this, like, for example, when you have a guest and you give a guest a time to speak, and this person will be main person appearing on the screen for everyone. So this is a time for us as well to practice. I have muted all of you, and I would like you to start practicing and maybe try to unmute yourself. So you can, on the bottom of your screen, when you put your mouse on the bottom, you put your mouse, start moving your mouse, please. And then on the bottom, you can see a participants tab. Please click on it. And then click on your name. And there are like 3 dots or maybe more. And when you click more, you can unmute yourself. I can see Teresa already unmuted herself. Well done. Ruth, Jenny as well, Rosemary, well done. What I can see if there's other, yeah, great. Now we can try and practice maybe changing your name. So do the same, go on the participants tab, click on it, have the mouse on next to your name and try to change your name. When it's like 3 dots or more, click on it. And there is an option like rename. So I can rename myself. Aggie highlight. Does anyone have any questions about that?
I'm completely lost. Aggie, don't worry.
Oh, you unmuted yourself, Julia. You can also click on, you guys can also click on your videos on a picture of yourself. And there are 3 dots. And you can change things on there.
Yeah, but I haven't got a mouse, for instance.
So you can use your finger if you don't have a mouse.
Yeah. So what do I want? Participants or?
Yeah. Go to the participants. Can you see the list of participants, Julia?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you see your name?
Nope.
Go further. There are lots of people, like 20 people, I think, so you can find yourself.
I just push things on the screen and nothing's happening. I'm obviously a bit thick.
Oh, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Julia, you're far from thick.
It could be, are you on a laptop or are you on a different
iPad?
On an iPad, okay. So yeah, different
I've
things.
got this names, muting and video, and all here, you know, at the bottom of the Devon communities. I can unmute, if you know what I mean. I can, yes, yeah, and then I'm lost.
But that under unmuting, you've got an option as well to rename yourself, I think.
Participants at the top.
Yes.
Okay, hang on, get there. I'm looking on the wrong page, you see. Ah, there's me. Okay. Then what do I do?
Have you clicked on your name on the 3 dots or like more? You can see the option 3 dots or more.
If I go more, yeah.
Okay, yes. There you go.
I'm back to the basic page again. Okay, right. Now what do I do?
Are you on a more? Your name and more.
So it might be on an iPad that your name you have to set up before the meeting, perhaps.
Julia, do you
Yes, looks like it to me because I've got raise hand, chat, 11, meeting settings and all these sort of things, but nothing about putting in there.
So
okay,
Julia,
I know it's more difficult on an iPad.
I will send you directly the instruction how to do it. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine, Aggie, because you've got to get on.
So I think this is one of the core problems of hosting meetings, is that every device does have its slight subtle differences, which we'll come to a little bit in a second. And additionally, you know, there is a difference between being a participant and being a host. So the screen most of us at the moment is, as Aggie was explaining, if you're hosting a meeting, you know, you can rename other people. It gives you some extra powers, so to speak.
Yes.
Name people, to mute them, to request them to unmute themselves, and as you're saying, you know, participants have sort of allows that.
Also, if you're illiterate like I am, when Shona, I think, was talking about a PDF, well, I know what a PDF file is. I have no idea how to do it or how to convert it on, and those sort of things. And you never get a computer or an iPad or anything with a book to explain anything. And unless you've got someone sitting beside you, I just don't understand what they're talking about. So it's all right. It's me that's, you know, ignorant rather than anybody.
You're not alone.
There's so many people in the same boat. I would say YouTube has so many resources and there's just more and more every day. So if you have a specific thing that you're struggling with, I would really recommend just typing it in on YouTube and seeing what videos come up, because everyone explains things slightly differently and there will be someone on there that's explaining it in a way that you can understand.
Yes,
exactly.
There's more to learn.
It is
I find YouTube very helpful.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeanette, you had your hand up. Did you have a question or is it resolved?
No, I just found a hand and I just pressed on it. It wasn't I'm currently trying to put a virtual background on, but struggle. I'm just doing this while I'm listening to everyone else, just to see if I can sort of.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm trying to do the virtual background, but at the moment I can't.
Is it your computer saying you can't do it, or are you just struggling to find where to do it?
Struggling. Well, I'm in a settings, background and filters. I've clicked on virtual backgrounds and it says none.
So you'd see to the right of that pop-up screen, there's a little plus button.
Yeah.
So if you click on that,
yeah,
you can then add any pictures that you've got on your device. So you might have random images that you've saved or pictures that you've taken on there.
Oh, I don't have any random pictures. Okay.
So yeah, if you have some photos, you can add them and use them as your virtual background.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
If you have any questions about naming, renaming yourself or other participants, please put it into the chat box as well, so we can actually then talk about it in our conversation time.
Yeah, and speaking of chat, I think Harry's now going to talk us through.
Seamless, Shona, thank you. Yeah, just to say, you've already seen hopefully the chat little bits and pieces pop up. Again, it is different on an iPad, and it can be a bit difficult. And when we've asked people in our sessions to use the chat, you know, some people are comfortable typing on an iPad or something like that. But sometimes it's difficult for people to sort of find it or know what to do. So it's about gauging that a little bit. Everyone should have access to the chat box at the bottom, and perhaps everyone could just try and write hi or hello or anything they want into that box. It would be really helpful. I'm going to, great, Sarah. Perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you. You're not a cat, Jenny. And Simon raising the tone. That's I like that. Thank you. And that's great. So as you can see, it's sort of a really handy thing to just, especially in busy meetings, it's really, really valuable to have the chat flying around. But we could also have used it, for example, with the chocolate quiz earlier. You know, you can say, if there were loads of people, you could say, oh, the first person to write it in the chat box gets it, or something like that. The chat box is a really, really good way for managing conversation, because as you can see, like, we can't always see people when you're all on screen, because not everyone's visible at the same time. So putting or we're in the middle of a certain point, and it's just a way of banking a question for later. But it is very helpful in a busy setting to have an assistant to keep an eye on the chat for questions, or to be responding as it goes along. So it's really helpful often to have two, especially if it's a meeting, to have at least two hosts, one person to manage the the conversation, one person to manage the chat conversation. You can message privately. So occasionally I've had to, message people and say, oh, sorry, can you just maybe mute yourself because I can hear the builders outside or something like that. You can send a direct message. You can add an attachment like Shona did earlier with the session there, which if you click the more button, which is on the screen, you can add attachments. And then finally, if you've got the chat function open, there should be again 3 dots in the bottom right hand side of that chat box, which you can click save chat, which is really, really valuable for all the, especially if you've got people posting like, my organizational link is here, you can look there, it's really valuable to then hold on to all those contacts and tips and pieces, and you can email it out to people afterwards. So that's the chat function. Thank you for sharing. I'm just going to fly through now. We've got the screen sharing, so you're seeing our presentation. Now you won't be able to see this. You should all be able to see a share screen button, but because you're not hosts, you won't be able to share your screen yet. You could press it and we could allow you to share the screen, but if you're hosts, you can just share the screen. And just a few things to really note around this, and I'll just run through these and then show you some other slides. Beware of a lag, so it's worth testing beforehand because videos often don't play smoothly with the sound as well over a screen. And it's worth just testing that. It depends on your internet connection and the internet connection of others as well. So it's quite risky sometimes, but it is a really valuable function. Share sound, I'll show you in a second, but what that does is it allows the participants, the people in the room, to hear whatever audio you're trying to play as if it was there on their computer, whereas normally they're hearing like a voice through the microphone. So for example, it would be a bit tinny because it would be coming out of my speakers and then going back into my microphone. But I'll show you in a second, you can make it so that they hear it as if it's coming from their own computer. As shown, mentioned, it's important to be aware what you have on your screen. You might flick through things and something might be there. So just be prepared before you start a meeting. That when you share your screen, no one's going to see anything important or confidential. You can tweak different bits and pieces in the meetings, in the settings session on the website beforehand. And again, for presenter view, I'll show you that now. It's a little bit complicated, but for PowerPoint, if you're used to using PowerPoint, you might want to see the presenter notes at the bottom, and I'll show you how you do that. So if you click the share screen button as a host, you're going to see this, and this is the different screens that were available to me, and I chose, I could choose one of these screens. So you've got there, one of them is my file with my paperwork or whatever, one of them is my background, one of them might be a website or web browser, and you can select which one to choose. So I've chosen obviously my PowerPoint to share with you. And if you see at the top, there's got basic, advanced and files. And if you click the advanced setting, you can press portion of screen, which is, as I say, you might only have one image or you want to share. And if you click portion of screen, it allows you to sort of draw a box around whatever you want to share instead of sharing a whole website or a whole page. And this is how you use a PowerPoint with the presenter view. So you can draw the box around the PowerPoint slide, and then you can still see that everyone else will see, whereas you can still see the remainder of your screen, which might be your notes, for example. And finally, by clicking music or computer sound, that will allow you to share the sound as your computer is playing it. Make sure other people hear it as if it's coming from their computer rather than it coming into your microphone. I hope that makes some sense. Finally, there's another way to do the share computer sound. once you've shared your screen, you're going to have this more box at the top, and you can scroll down, choose the option of share computer sound. So that's just another way of doing the same thing rather than going to advanced. Now, viewing a share screen, you should be able to see this at the moment. So we're going to ask you to go up to the top of your screen. You should be able to see you're viewing maybe Harry's screen, it should say, or Harry's DCT screen. If you click View Options, and I want you to click Annotate there, and it should bring up this second box, this second bar with all the options for a spotlight. Spotlight is what I showed earlier, which is just like a red dot. I can show you round like this, or you can click text, or you can click format. And so we just want you to click options and scroll down to annotate. And hopefully you've been able to do that, and we can turn your mics on and ask us if people would just like to draw and annotate this as much as they like. With some stamps, some hearts. There we go. Perfect, Shona. Olive.
Artistic.
Well done. That's a heart. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions? Have you been able to get to that annotate bar?
I think Olive has a question. You put it on a chat, Olive. Can you unmute yourself, please, Olive? Thank you.
Yeah, I've had something happen recently which I just don't understand, which is if I'm hosting a call and I look at the attendee list, it comes up as a black box on other people's screens.
Is this whilst you're sharing screen?
If I'm sharing screen and I'm running the call,
yes,
then if I do chat box or I do the list of participants, it comes up as a square blob on the screen for other people. I can see the chat box, but other people see a square box.
I think it's also with regards to GDPR and sensitivity of the information created by Zoom. So if you share the screen, doesn't mean necessarily that you can, like, you think you don't share then the list of participants with other people.
Oh, maybe that Harry's answered it by saying I can just share a portion of the screen with the slides. Maybe that will work so that you don't see the chat box as well.
Yeah, so I think it's a thing that Zoom doesn't want other people to be able to see.
I got it.
A particular thing, because yeah, that could be somebody could have sent a direct message, which
yes,
could be something sensitive.
Yeah.
So hopefully the annotations aspect has been, if few of you had a play with that, and you can see it's, you could have a document up, you could easily have it like a screen, and you could have someone put, a star or a heart next to it, or you can put a poll on and you can ask people to just stamp next to it. Hopefully you saw the annotate, there was a lot you could do. You could write, you could put stamps, you could draw, you could use text, you could do different colors, etc. So it's kind of up to you how you use it, but it's a really valuable tool to have there. So I'm just going to move on, if that's okay. And we're going to have, let me see, it should now clear everyone's annotations. I think that's something I have to do, so hold on a second. Clear all drawings. So there's a button on the annotate bar that you can clear other people's drawings as well if you're the host. So just quickly about breakout rooms, similar to the chat function, it's a really, really good way for managing conversations. You can assign people into breakout rooms, and we normally do it if there's sort of more than 10 or 12 people, and
yeah, good. It's not
split people off, and it just keeps the conversation quite lively. And you can set these up ahead of time if you know you're going to have a lot of people. So if you're at a conference, for example, people often ask you to choose which sort of seminar they might want to join and register beforehand, and then you can establish that beforehand using the web page. And if you want to transmit, really valuable, you can transmit messages into the groups. And we'll practice this in a second. You can transmit a question, or you can say the room's going to close in 2 minutes, or please make sure you switch partners and it's the other person's turn, for example. We'll practice that in a minute. Just where are we in terms of things? So recording, yeah. So Aggie, just.
Oh, yes, you are still in a meeting. You are having valuable conversation. So it's always important to consider whether you would like to record the meeting, or you don't have to, you don't need to. So if you decide at the beginning of the meeting you would like to record it, it's important to remember how to do it. So on the bottom of the page, when you scroll down, you've got record button. Harry, can you put it on the arrow next to the record when I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Your mouse, so people know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is here, the record. So you click on it and then you are able to record the meeting. During the meeting, you can actually pause or stop recording and then start it again. It's not going to affect the quality. And also, depending on the type of the Zoom account you have, you are able to record your meeting locally or in a cloud. Local or cloud recording are options for you to consider. So local recording is available to free and paid subscribers. So when you have your free account, you can record your meeting on the computer, and then after you stop the meeting, the recorded version will be saved in your computer. You can see this. You will see this picture which I've got on the bottom, like Zoom converting the meeting recording after the meeting. So just allow a little bit of time for the recorded version to be uploaded on your computer. And then you can save it in your computer, or you can actually upload it to a file storage, or more, you can also put it into the streaming service like YouTube, like we do at Devon Highlights. We record our session and then we put them into the YouTube, and we share it with our participants. Because we've got lots of participants who cannot or don't want to use live Zoom sessions with us for many health and other reasons, and then they watch it later on their own time. You could also use the recording option on your paid account, and when you start the meeting, you click on a record, and the meeting will be recorded directly into your Zoom account. It's called cloud recording. This is only available option to paid subscribers. So when you have your professional account, paid account, you are able to record it into the Zoom. The next slide will tell you a little bit more about how you can view the recorded session. So if you've recorded a meeting you would like to watch, you need to open the Zoom app or Zoom website and select the meeting tab. Once you've got the meeting tab in the left pane, then you need to select the recorded option. And then you will see the list of different recorded, if you've got your meetings recorded previously as well. And then you need to select the meeting you would like to view from the list. And then you will have an option whether you would like to play or delete, open, or share as well. So you need to choose which one you would like to do. You can also copy the meeting and paste it into your email and share with your contacts. They will be able to watch it, but only from the Zoom account, so from cloud, from paid account. If you have your meeting on your computer, you will need to share it as a downloaded option. I think that's all about this.
Yeah.
As I said, we always record our meetings, but we also always ask people for the permission. recorded options, because it's important to you know, to make sure that everyone's okay with that as well.
So just moving on to some common problems, we're just going to have a little break in a minute, but we just wanted to flag some of the common problems that do come up. So we've got...
Yeah, so the first one on the list here about turning on the video and audio. This is something which people can struggle with because different devices, the buttons are in different places. So if you're saying to someone, oh, down in the bottom, you'll see the video. But if somebody's on their phone or on an iPad, then it'll be in a different place. But it is good to know that the video button, the icon is like a camera, and then for the audio, the icon is like a microphone. So it can sometimes be easier to describe what the button looks like rather than where it is on the screen.
Then sometimes where we share the screen or we put a link in the chat, it opens a new window for people. So sometimes we'll put like a website for people to have a look at that they might be interested in, and they'll click it, and they might come away from the Zoom button. So again, similarly, it's worth knowing that happens to people, and encouraging them to close the window that's just opened and re-find the Zoom box, because sometimes they feel like the meeting's going on and they're not part of it, if that makes sense. Obviously, some people don't have a camera or audio on their device, and you know, it's often best to just ask them to sign off and sign back on again, because the audio has to readjust itself, reconnect itself, or if it really doesn't work, we encourage people to phone up using the number, which we can provide. Every meeting's got a telephone number which they can come in on as just a voice, basically, which that's included in the meeting details. But as we said, people sometimes not being comfortable with being on video, and as hopefully you've seen from today, we just try to make people as comfortable as possible and allow them to turn off their videos if they wish. Background noise is a very common feature, and as Aggie showed, we've got the ability to mute participants, which sometimes can feel a bit rude, but it's better to you know, mute someone if it's disturbing the whole meeting, and then you can privately message them and just explain that perhaps you've muted them because of the background noise. And also gallery view versus speaker view, which Shona can show you.
Yeah, so you can see here that the different devices, it really changes, again, similar to where the video button is, where the button to change the view also differs on different devices. So you can see the first one is on a laptop, and you have the option to click the view button and then choose which one you want to view. Whereas on a phone, you're just swiping through the different screens. The iPad screenshot shows you there's a button which you can click, which it just changes the view. It doesn't give you an option of what you want to change to. So it's understandable how confusing it can get, because Zoom hasn't made it easy by making all the different devices have different ways of doing these functions. You can see on the laptop and on the iPad, the button has an icon which is like a grid. So again, it can be easier to just describe what the button looks like. So it's just good to know, just good to keep in the back of your mind that if somebody isn't able to join in the meeting very well, they think they can't see the right people, it's good to know that it could be because they're on the wrong type of view. And what kind of view you use really depends on what kind of meeting you're hosting, whether you've got a speaker who you want to be the main screen, or if it's a discussion and you want everyone to be able to see everyone. So just something to keep in the back of your mind.
And as Aggie said earlier, if you do have someone that you want to pin to be the centre, if you've got a guest speaker, you can pin it for everybody to make sure they're there. Yeah.
Sorry, one of the common, maybe not common problems, but also an issue or maybe an opportunity as well, I'm not sure how to name it, but people already started talking in a chat about it, is it possible to use phone calls or phones to connect with Zoom? Yes, it is, and we have been doing that occasionally as well with people who don't have laptop, tablets, or internet. There is a dial number you can actually use as an option when you're setting up a meeting. So you can allow people to call from landlines to your Zoom. So it's in a settings at the beginning. When you set up the Zoom meeting, click an option to join a meeting by participants by using phones as well, or landlines, and then people will be able to do it. And the information when you send out the invitation also will include the option for landline to use the number when joining Zoom.
Yeah, this is just for paid accounts as well. Basic accounts, unpaid accounts you can't.
That's good.
We were going to have some conversation about common problems, but I think because Aggie's, we've been trying to keep an eye on the chat, and I think we've answered a few going along, and we are just about 5 minutes behind where we wanted to be, and we've wanted to make sure people just had a short break, you know, because it's a lot to take in, and I know we've kind of gone quite quickly through things. We can keep it so that there's just keep adding stuff in the chat, and we'll get to it at the end. If I just say we have a bit of a break, just for it, so it's sort of 3 minutes past. If you just sort of 3 or 4 minutes, come back, and if you want to, you know, you can. A good thing to do here for a break is turn your video off or your camera off. You can just sort of stretch and move as you wish, get a cup of tea, get a drink, and then what we're going to do after the break, yeah, like Aggie dancing. What we're going to do after the break is we're going to take some of these technical things we've talked about and show you how we've used them for our meeting. So just so you can see, I mean, it is best practice to just sort of 40 minutes to an hour, you know, give it a break. You know, that's how we learn best as people as well, to have a break in between things. It's really important to just give it a little time, you know. I need it anyway. When I'm in sessions, my attention span is basic at best. So, right, so welcome back. Hopefully that's been of value so far. Just to say, we've kind of tried to go through some of the technical skills of the setup to the meeting and technical skills in meetings, and covered some problems. As it is quite difficult for us sometimes, because as we say, we're not technical experts, and there are annoyingly little tweaks which are different on different devices and different things. So we're trying to show you good guidance around, say, you know, downloading a background, using a background, but then for some of you, you won't be able to do it because it's your software or your computer, which is obviously we don't know the ins and outs of everybody's technicalities. So but hopefully it's valuable. So now we're going to talk about applying these skills to meetings and making them nice environments, basically. So,
thank you. So I have to say that we have been really successful with running our Devon Highlights weekly coffee meetups on Zoom. We've started with one or couple, and now we have 4 or 5 different Zoom meetups. I have to say that this wouldn't be so successful without our partners as well, like Teresa and other people who are here. I can see Teresa's face, that's why I just mentioned you, Teresa. I have a limited option to see other people. But yeah, we've been working with our partners, with social prescribers. And this has been very successful partnership. We introduced our project from the beginning, and we made sure that everyone understands what our aim of the Zoom meetups and one-to-one phone calls is. And we keep going with this partnership, and we've got lots of referrals from our social prescribers and other places. So it's a constant relationship when we talk about our participants between. We make sure that they feel comfortable. We always call them, introduce the project. We teach them how to use Zoom. We allow them to feel comfortable and safe as well. So when we actually running Zoom meetings with our people, we always make sure that we create warm, happy, safe atmosphere. We have lots of funny, positive, happy, games or tips, like one of mine, which I just always do. And I like that. It's just for my own interest as well. I always ask people what they've had for breakfast. And it's nice because you can actually create a nice atmosphere. And I also know that my participants try to eat well and they try to have a really nice breakfast. And sometimes we even laugh because some of them always have the same, like, I don't know, porridge, or me, I have always eggs for breakfast. So we, by doing that, we also start knowing each other. We also encourage people to share personal stories or like tell something about themselves. We always give them a space to talk. I'm quite chatty, but I always have to make sure that I give people space to talk. We talk about different things: hobbies, past, future, worries, if we wish to share that, anything. And that's what we found very good and very positive and really encouraging, because people coming back to our meetings, they like this atmosphere, they like being with us. So yeah, this is our way how we make this community work. Maybe I will put Julia and Mark on a spot right now, but maybe Julia and Mark, you would like to tell something about it as well, because you are one of our participants as well.
Yes, I find it very interesting. And you see people that have joined that have come. One particular gentleman, he lost his wife and he came to us really quite down, but he's the life and soul of the party now. And he's a comedian, he really is. And he's very happy. And the Keep Fit, he joins in the Keep Fit on a Friday, which I enjoy. And there's 4 of us from our church that join each week, and we find it very helpful and we look forward to it each week. And also I highly recommend becoming a befriender, because I think that is really good.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
And I think what we're going to do is we're going to just break you out into breakout rooms, and what we're going to ask you just to have a discussion. And I think we're going to put, how many are we now in the end? 18, so minus 3, 15. We're going to do we'll do 3 in each room, and we'll just ask you to, discuss how would you make an engaging meeting for your clients, and you might say your friends if you're not working for an organization, and bring back one point of best practice that you can bring to the group. And then we're going to go over a few more things with everybody. So I'm going to just put you into breakout rooms. So it's going to be 5 rooms, and hopefully there is a button on your screen and you can fly off and discuss that.
So we were having too much fun to return.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I feel very slightly cheated.
Sorry.
Cut off mid-sentence.
So can I give you the feedback on our 1 point?
Please.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And ours was the
You're having
same.
a good giggle about the sheets on the washing line and how do you get people there and everything. We were having a good laugh about it. So that's how you get people engaged.
Lovely. Who else would like to share?
We were sort of thinking perhaps need to make sure it's interactive. It's not just the speaker presenting. So draw, I think I can't remember. I'm so sorry, I can't remember my Jackie
and Marg.
Yeah,
Jackie and Marge. Yeah. I've lost what I was going to say now.
Was it about
interactive?
Anyway,
interactive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pulling them in, that's it. Pulling them into the conversation. So Marge she gave loads of different ideas of what they do.
And have fun.
I think this is key.
Anyone else want to share what they would discuss?
Yeah, we were just talking about the usefulness of being able to screen share and with the audio as well, so we can actually bring that extra element into conversations through Zoom. The technical side of it, the importance of that, so we can make these things possible, the ideas that different people have.
Yeah, and also if there's something you want to play people, it's really good being able to share your screen and play it rather than send a link, because then you just risk everyone getting lost and not finding their way back. So yeah, screen sharing is great.
Thank you all. So we actually feel bad for not having more interactivity in it, but as you can see, we've got quite a lot to cover. So we wanted longer for these points, but I think
and that's why we've spent like 45-50 minutes on this technical bits, trying to explain everything to you guys to make sure that you can use it. We will share the presentation with you later on, so you can actually.
I think exactly. Sorry. Yeah, we'll share the presentation with you after, and so it depends on the type of session you're trying to run. And obviously, this is a training compared to like a coffee group or something like that. Right? So,
Jeanette, you wanted to share as well with us what you were saying.
Oh, that's fine. We just had things like it's really important for it to be friendly and warm and open and honest. Opportunities to sort of ask questions and just find a way that everyone's agreed to do it. So you either accept questions throughout the meeting or you ask people to save the questions to the end, and that people are human, and so some flexibility is a little bit nice too. And I had Ruth and Rosemary in my group. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Anyone else before
Thank
we
you.
move to another one? No, okay, thank you.
So just like Jacqueline said, exactly, was Jacqueline or Jeanette? Sorry, Jeanette maybe. Exactly, agree ground rules, be clear at the beginning, you know, say we're going to, please raise your hand for questions or please type it in the chat and remind people come through it. Again, these are just some things, you know, ask people to be on mute if presenters speaking. We've talked about some of these things. This is best practice. We send out email reminders every week. We try to keep that tone, that warm, friendly, welcoming tone. I'll show you that in a second. If you've got time, do a practice call beforehand. Often, like we said with the Zoom guide, it's that first instance of getting on Zoom that is the difficulty. So if you've got a new referral or someone coming to you, really try and just walk through that first occasion if you can. And beforehand, before they come on. Safeguarding, again, if someone's dropped off of a call, as a referral organisation, we hold details, and if we haven't seen someone for a week or two, or if we think they've dropped off for some reason without giving an excuse, we try to check in with them as well afterwards and just say hello as well, just sort of maintaining that community feel around the groups as much as anything. Use breakout rooms to keep conversations busy, and again, update people between meetings. So an example of all our invitation emails. So we run a creative writing quiz session, monthly, and we say, you know, if you're worried that creative writing is your thing, Liz is very experienced at running workshop, and there's a very simple list template for us to follow. And as always, you only need to do what you are comfortable doing. And that's kind of the tone that we try to take, so that people, you know, I think people come along to our flamenco dancing sessions because they're just like, well, okay, let's go along, because we know that the people running it, and we know we can do as much or as little as we feel like doing. And we kind of continuously tell people that. And then just a few more tips to make it engaging or keep some flow going. So you go around in a circle, and we tried to do it at the start of this session. It didn't quite work out so well, but when you're naming people, or if you're doing a quiz or you're doing an activity, it's really helpful to say, you know, introduce yourself and you nominate the next person, because then it takes the pressure off of the host, and also it encourages participants to start, you know, interacting with each other in what is a weird digital virtual world, you know, and you have to call people out and say, okay, Teresa, still Jeanette, you're next. Yes, Aggie.
Can I just say something? Like from my experience from the beginning of this session, I would use a different option for introduction as I have used at the beginning, because I didn't know you all, and the participants bar was changing, so I didn't know who I need to follow. So I would then ask people to introduce themselves in a bar chat instead of asking everyone. So it would be safer, easier, and less stressful.
Yeah, it was, and we had quite a lot of people today joining us, so it was a bit more difficult as well. That's where I think you get a feel for it. Sometimes chat's best, and sometimes other activities and games are best as well. Like Aggie said, we've got, you know, conversation starters like what did you have for breakfast, or the chocolate quiz that we did earlier, and you can do that either as a poll or as a background or as a screen sharing. You know, it's the same basic idea, but just bringing it different techniques. You know, you can use the annotating function for people to tick or approve of stuff like that. Just about creating a warm atmosphere. So like we said, we really encourage people to share their own stories and before any activities that we have, and that might just be what they've done that week or how they're feeling or anything like that. And you get a feeling for the group. Obviously, some people talk more freely and some people need more encouragement, but it's really important to like name people and ask them to speak if they want to as well, and then they're happy to. So just being quite explicit about that. We always thank people for sharing. And what's great about our group is that often, you know, someone might share something and, you know, everybody is really, really thankful and really happy. And that's because we've created that sort of supportive, and they're just great people as well. So, and then just finally, it's not always possible, but we ask through that, we keep an ear out for what people's hobbies and skills and stories are. And we ask people to maybe be leaders for some of our sessions. So we had a lady who ran craft sessions. We asked her to take the lead. And again, that's just part of our culture of the sessions and the groups. We've created an atmosphere where we're not the ones that are running everything. We're encouraging people to bring their hobbies and, you know, share a story from their past or something like that, you know, and it's just being explicit about that. So looking for leaders to share them, and we actively keep an eye out for people to do that, doing some of these different activities. So Aggie, I don't know if you wanted to go through some
okay, yes, thank you.
I just want to say, sorry, Aggie, just to say, I know we were due to finish at 12:30. We're nearly closed, and I know it's important to keep on time for other people, but we've got a couple more slides to go here, and then Aggie, Shona, and I are happy to hang around for another 20 minutes, half an hour, answer any questions or something. But you know, sorry, we've run a little bit over for people.
Thank you. So yes, so this is just a short information about our meeting ideas and how we engage with people. As Harry already mentioned, what we've been doing to make sure that we engage with our participants. We also follow what people say to us, what they would like to do, and what sort of activities they would like to see and be part of. So this is just an example of what we've done. We've had a virtual tours when we actually opened, like recently we were opening windows around the world into different places in different countries. So we saw the views from other people's windows. It was quite nice because during the lockdown you cannot go out and you cannot explore. So it was lovely. We've done lots of pub quizzes. We've had loads of laugh around that, different topics. exercises, we've been keeping our exercises now on Fridays, but occasionally we also do them on Wednesday. We've done shiatsu, laughter yoga, we've done tai chi, on so many different activities and exercises. But we always make sure that people feel comfortable and fit to the purpose as well. So if, you know, we've got some people who are less fit or maybe not really into exercises, so we always make sure that we've got gentle options for them. As you mentioned before, that fun is one of the most important thing in all the Zoom meetings. I would like to share with you our Zoom meetup, recorded Zoom meetups, when we've had a really great fun. One of them was laughter yoga. So I really liked it. It was really nice. So we've had a laughter yoga with this lady. I wasn't sure how it's gonna go because you need to be very relaxed and open. I wasn't sure whether our participant will go for it, but actually all of them, they have. Harry, we can't hear yet. Can you just share?
Sorry, Yankee?
We cannot hear the lady yet.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay, thank you. So I really enjoyed it, and actually it gave me great fun, and I felt really relaxed after that.
First of all, let's get our facial muscles going. So just remember gurning. Let's just really get into that gurn. So there's some noises with it if you
Oh.
a bit of lip action.
Gary, it's always you.
It's always me. We didn't plan this well enough. Hold on, let's see, who is there?
Maybe someone else. Move it somewhere else. Oh, yeah.
You must have been the loudest, Harry.
I must have been the loudest, yeah, that's what it is. Let's see. This went on for an hour, so it was...
Yeah, and it was great fun.
Let's again?
Again?
Yeah, or Toby, or Jenny.
I forgot. What was the last word said?
I don't know, Brian, what was the last thing you said?
What did you say last?
No idea.
Let's wait. Say what you said.
Toby.
So we were just talking.
You can see that was quite a lot of fun. Shall we maybe stop now, Harry? Thank you. So that was.
And I'll show you. So. Oh, sorry. Sorry, no mistake. 1 second. And I'll show you just something a bit more.
Serious.
It's not serious, but just a sort of completely different approach.
Do we say it now or wait to the end?
Wait to
Can
the
you
end.
see?
All right.
So this is, we did a pub quiz.
The next question is a history question. What historic union occurred in 1801? What historic union occurred in 1801?
Completely different.
Challenging questions.
Is it geography or humanity or?
I'll give you the clue then. It is geographical, yes.
So as well. Hopefully you can see. You know, it's a completely different setup, and we won't watch a whole. I'm sorry.
What was the answer? What historic union did happen?
Mark, do you remember? No, you can't remember. I can't remember either.
I can't remember, but it was fun.
Yes.
I remember it was all it always is very good fun. And you learn some things, you think, Yeah, I didn't know that.
So the quiz is really simple. We just, instead of it being competitive, and we ask people to just come with any 3 questions they've got, and just take it turns to ask 3 questions, and it just goes round from one person to the next. And you know, it's not a pressurized environment, and we do keep score. People keep score, but it's not that important.
And as I said, and someone already asked this question, how we actually how we promote our Zooms, what we do to make sure that we've got participants coming. We use different ways of engagement. As I said, the partnership with our social prescribers, with partners, is very crucial. So we've got referrals from them. We also advertise it in local places. We use our marketing. We use our mailing and our data. We work with different local organizations, making sure that they know about our services. We also communicate with once we've got people coming into us, we always welcome them and making sure that they understand what's the purpose of the project. We making sure that they feel comfortable and welcomed. So we've got really high percentage of people staying with us, which is important. So we always take care of our people, not only of our partners, but also of our participants. We maintain really good relation between all the, everyone. We keep communicating with them weekly. We send them like weekly newsletters about what's coming on the following weeks. We organize different like visitors to our Zoom sessions. Like we've got a bit of funding. We can pay to someone to do some exercises with us or do a session. Harry and Shona, any other things?
Yeah, I was going to add when we actually send out the invitations, rather than if you're on Zoom and you just click copy invitation, it's really quite overwhelming, all the information, and there's a lot there that they don't need. So we send out personalized invitations where we just include the meeting ID, the password if there is one, and then we also include just a link to the meeting, so then they don't need to worry about putting the password in correctly. They can just click the link and go directly to the meeting.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say about one of my favorite things is the photo competitions, just to give people an idea of things that we can do. And like we said, we've had people lead the sessions, but there's other activities like we say to people, bring a souvenir from one of your holidays, and that's a nice way of it being sort of not too much pressure for people to be running the session, but still also going around the group and everybody sharing a souvenir and a story from one of their memories, one of their trips that they've been. Or we ask people in between sessions to maybe take a photo of an object in their house or something out of their window, and again bring that to the group. And it's a way of very simple stuff, but it's getting that mixture of, sometimes we have a speaker like the laughter yoga lady who led the session, and then sometimes we have it much more, everyone's doing a bit of storytelling, a bit of sharing something. And again, that depends on how you set up the sessions there. So I think that was it. I just wanted to remind you of the sessions that we've got, which are on the right-hand side here. These are the IDs for our 2 and 3:30 sessions. They're an hour each on a Tuesday, and they're different activities. And then down below on the left, we've got our weekly Friday sessions, which are activities, more active based. We have creative writing once a month on a Wednesday, and also we do training and support sessions for our befriending volunteers. So we'll send all this out, and then we were just going to open it up. And as I say, we can hang around as long as you want. I'm sorry we've gone a bit over time, but hopefully you've got some ideas, and I'll bring it back to the group, and we can just have a chat if people have any questions, and we can talk about some things.
So if if you have a question, please just put your hands or use the reaction pictures like that. It's also on the bottom of the page, and then
it's easier now because I can see everybody again now that I'm not sharing my screen, so it's much easier to see and manage as well. So we'd love to hear from anybody if there's anything you've taken away that you would like to take away, or if you've got any questions. Yes, Olive, thank you.
Firstly, thank you very much. We got lots of good ideas that we're going to add to the Active in Redbourne offering. But have you done any projects that's helped people to get the IT that they need to run Zoom if they haven't got that capability? I just wondered.
Yeah, so it's difficult in lockdown, basically. Are you talking about getting them onto Zoom or getting the devices?
Getting the devices and then getting them onto Zoom.
Yeah, so we believe there are a couple of organisations, we've not really worked with them to get people devices.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are some out there. That was, and as we're getting people onto Zoom, that was part of our motivation for doing this training and the guide. And we've been circulating it to kind of carers, you know, care home agencies, the guide, because it is that thing. If you can get people initially onto Zoom, and we try to do it through the phone calls. If we get someone referred to us, we'll try to talk it through them on the phone, and we've got quite good at it, but it's not always possible because sometimes it's just depending on person's.
Okay.
Often, I would just say, once you can get that Zoom downloaded and you get the same regular meeting ID always sent out or written down at the same time slot, once it's downloaded, then it sort of runs itself a lot easier. It's just that first step.
Yeah. Can I just answer a comment from Ruth? She said, how do you get presenters to do them for free? We had loads of presenters during lockdown 1, and all of our presentations are up on YouTube under Active in Redbourne. So you're more than welcome. Anybody is more than welcome to just go on YouTube, Active in Redbourne, and use those videos and share those videos with people if you want something to discuss.
Thank you. Shona, you wanted to add something as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say that obviously if you're able to talk people through getting on Zoom, that's great. But also if you go onto the Zoom website, there is the option to do a test email. So you just log into the a test meeting, sorry. So you just log into the meeting. You can practice setting up your video, setting up your audio. So that's a really useful resource that you can send to people, and they can sort of do a practice meeting before they join the real one.
As for the speakers as well, and that is exactly one of the reasons why, yes, we have found some that are willing to do it for free. And what's been lovely is we've had participants who might not join us every week, but we noted that, you know, for example, in lockdown 1, they came along, they came for like 4 or 5 weeks, and then they stopped joining us, which is fine. But we also knew that they had a particular hobby, and we've stayed in touch with them. And the creative writing, for example, was led by a former participant. And, you know, that's the whole ethos of us trying to encourage people to share their own talents and skills. So we look for people from within the groups, really is a big part of that. Yeah, Marion, you had a question, yeah?
Any other questions?
Marion, just you're muted there.
Yes, Marine, are you mute? Yeah, mute. Yes, thank you.
Hi, thank you. I put it in the chat. I'm really sorry if you've answered this. I had to take a phone call, so just tell me if you've answered. I'm really sorry. So there's a couple of questions. One is, when you send people to breakout rooms, is it possible to send different questions to different rooms at different times?
No, I saw your question. I didn't know the answer to it, so I had a look. When we went off into breakout rooms. No, it's just a broadcast to all rooms at the same time.
Same question to all rooms.
There might be, and I don't know, but it would be worth having a look. As I say, when you go into the web page to set, like I say, you can either just create breakout rooms in the meeting like this, or you can pre-assign breakout rooms if you've got it established in the website beforehand. There might be a setting there to add something if you're pre-assigning the setup of the rooms, but otherwise, no, it was just a single message.
Okay, thanks. And the other question is, has anyone got any ideas of how to, I'm going to run a workshop, and well, this would apply to groups as well, and would like to play a game that we designed that's it's like Snakes and Ladders, and it would, I've got an idea, somebody can put their hand up, and then we can put the number on the screen as if they've thrown the dice, got all that, but it's actually figuring out how to move a piece around. So you've got your number, moving the piece on the board, that number of squares, and going up or down the ladder, so that everybody can see. Has anybody got any ideas how we could do that?
So would there be...
Sorry, Harry, you go.
No, go, Shona.
I was just going to say, with the annotating that we did, you could have everyone, they would put their emoji that they choose on a position, and then they can clear that and they can move the position of it. Yeah, so I'm not sure what Harry's going to show you here. Yeah, so when we...
Right, so you can add, so we've got a printout of the board. The board was actually, it was the game's been done in a, in a huge conference centre, and the board was like 2-3 meters by 2-3 meters sort of thing. But we've got a printout of it. So could we put that on the Sheen's screen share, and then we could use you're saying we could use a stamp or something, and move that around the board. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's six.
Sorry. Go on.
There's 6 stamps here, but obviously there's as many colours as you want. I would have a play around with it as a host beforehand, a practice as to, because obviously you'd have to almost like delete the stamp and then.
No, that's not a problem. we're sort of all playing the game together. So if somebody says, "Oh, I'll throw the dice," and then we'll have some effect happening, and then everybody sees the same number come up on the screen, and then we move the piece that number of squares, and then it goes up a ladder or down a snake, and then we go to a presenter who's telling us about an activity.
Sounds excellent.
Yeah, sounds fun. So yeah, there's the option of you controlling it all, or there's the option of everyone controlling it themselves.
Yeah,
so
no.
Have,
we need to fix it. It needs to be rigged. So
yeah.
we land on the right squares when we want to. Otherwise, we'll be there all day, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'll have a play with that. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Ruth, yes, participants do have to press join to go into the breakout room. Yeah. Any other questions?
They can also choose to leave the breakout room if they've already finished their conversation. They can leave early or wait to be kicked out, but it might happen mid-sentence.
Oh, that's brilliant, because we're going to do a Taskmaster thing as well. Well, like Taskmaster meets escape room. So yeah, people, when they've completed the tasks, they can escape. So that's brilliant. But yeah, we need that's why I needed the best to know if you could send different messages to different rooms, so that when one room's completed a task, you could give them their next task without giving it to all the other groups.
You can move people between rooms. You can in the middle of it, if they're in one room, the host will get a list of where the participants are, and it'll say, room 1 has Jenny, Jackie, and Simon, and then you can say move Simon to room 2. So that might be.
Yeah, and also you'll be able to see the list of people that are in each room. So if you know, for example, John is the leader of group 1. If you know that group 1 have finished, you can send John a direct, just a normal chat message.
Oh, that's right. This is. So yeah, we only need to give the message to the person facilitating anyway. So we could send a direct. Oh, so on the chat. That's it. Send a message to the facilitator on the chat.
Janet, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm really aware of the time. Janet just said bye. She had to go for another meeting. Shall we just go with one more question, and then if there's any other questions, you can always email us, guys. Any other question? Okay, looks like no more question.
Do you want to do the poll, Maggie?
Yes, I would like to do the last one, last poll, so we can actually know if you are, how you feel about this session with us. So I'm just launching the poll. Thank you. Thank you, Ruth.
And if you wanted to write in the chat, it's lovely to see, Ruth, that you found it was really helpful. Simon as well. If you want to write good things or bad things or feedback, we'll save that, and that'll be really helpful for us to, justify our work, as you all know we have to do so.
Thank you, Simon. That's really nice.
Thank you for your feedback.
So can you see the poll? I've just launched it. So can you please use it so we can see?
Oh. Oh.
There are 3 questions.
Oh, where have I gone?
How confident do you feel using the Zoom to host meetings now? Are you going to be using this knowledge with your clients? Or overall, how do you rate the session out of 10?
Are you going to use this knowledge with your clients?
Thank you. I have to go. Thank you very much. It was excellent. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Me too. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. If you're finding the poll difficult, just write a message to us in a comment and tell us any feedback if you feel...
I can't get the 1 to 10. How do I get higher than just come up 1?
You scroll down.
Thank you, Sarah. Mark, scroll the poll down.
I need to go now to everybody. Lovely to see you all. Hello, Devon from Hertfordshire. Keep up the great work.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Cheerio. Have a lovely day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm off too. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
It's been really enjoyable. I still feel a bit confused, to be fair.
Send any other questions over to us.
It's nothing to do with you. It's a very difficult, complex subject to get over, isn't it? And for different people with different knowledge, and I'm coming from sort of virtually nothing. So, but I have learned things, thank you, and I do feel more comfortable. But I'm still not there yet.
Teresa, as I say, we'll share the slides with you, and you can always use a non-paid for account, a free account, or if you've got a paid one, but just set a meeting up with your friends, Friday night drinks or something like that, and just get asking them to name the chocolate bar, or get them to bring a souvenir, just have a play in a environment before you go.
Yeah, that's what I need to do, is have a play, Harry. You're absolutely right, because eventually I need to put on a course for for my part of my work. And so my technical knowledge is not good, and I don't want to come across as unprofessional.
You can also just set up a meeting and not invite anyone. I have had many meetings just by myself, trying different things.
Oh, right. Okay.
And just make a
and
meeting.
Then you can have a little play that way.
Around, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Video.
Thank you so much. It's been really worthwhile. Thank you. I've enjoyed it, and it has been very interesting and worthwhile. So if you put on anything again similar, please let me know.
Of course. Thank you so much, Rita.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sasha.
I will send you the guide as well. Thank you. Bye.
And
Bye.
Ruth, you okay there? Do you have any questions for us, Ruth?
Yeah, I was just wondering whether your social Zoom meetings that you have, would they be suitable for an adult with a learning disability? Would you say? I'm doing social things with them, but I'm also trying to sort of signpost them to different things they can do, in the lockdown or whatever.
So our funding is for over 55s, firstly. So it's for older people.
All right, over 55, okay.
Yeah,
So then and what about out of area? Because actually I'm thinking about my mum, but she's in Somerset. I don't suppose it matters where they live, does it?
It doesn't. We've
or
had
would your
people
funding be?
We just won't tell anyone, really. We publicise for Devon. We've had 1 or 2 people pop in from the area, so she's welcome. But maybe don't spread it too far wide.
Okay.
As for the learning disabilities thing, I would say
something similar in Somerset. Right there.
Might be, yeah.
I'll have a look.
There's different groups. And for
I'll say goodbye. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, lovely.
That was really good. My internet's going a bit funny now. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm going to save my chat.
Recording is paused. No.
No, I think we both clicked on the same time.
Yeah.